welcome everybody to Blockchain Trends Live AMA series. Today we have two special guests from Ghost Trader. We have Ghost Trader Don and Dennis today, and some of their core team. I'd like to welcome them to Blockchain Trends in the community, and we're going to get right into it. So, John, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. Me and Ray have been contributors into Ghost Trader since the private sale that you had over 6 months ago. And we've been very excited to have you on here, and we'd like to thank you for coming on here and taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to Blockchain Trends and to speak with some of our community.
Well, thanks for having us for a start. Obviously, I take it most of you guys, obviously, like you say, you already contributed, so you know sort of where we came from and what we did. So I'll keep the intro brief, as many people have heard it 100 times now. Obviously, I'm one of the co-founders of Ghost Trader. It's obviously now being rebranded to just GTR. I've known Dennis, who's the brains behind the trading activities, for probably about 5 years, about 4 or 5 years now. Lockdown, obviously, certainly most of that, and I'm speaking to him on a daily basis. And what I was wanting to do was build a product based in the UK that would utilise his skills. Obviously, regulation, red tape, banking procedures and everything else are an absolute nightmare, and ultimately it would mean that I would end up with a product that I could only speak to people that already had money, and then obviously there would be massive costs and everything else involved, so we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing or what we've been able to do with Ghost Trader by passing on most of the money that's being made to the contributors. So I was sort of dabbling around with some of the shitcoin BSE stuff for a couple of months during lockdown, and I built up, let's say, not friendships but acquaintances with people in various call channels and groups and communities, etc. And I spoke to Dennis and said, I'm going to give it a go here. Obviously, he knew about crypto, probably more than I did, but he didn't know anything about Telegram and what's going on. So I set up a discovery group where I asked a couple of the big call channels whether I could ask for some advice for some devs and coders and things like that. And that's where I met Calf and Magnus, actually, our other guy. So, obviously, back and forth for a couple of months between myself and Calf. Calf picked up on the idea immediately, worked out and understood what I was trying to achieve. Obviously, as a computer and coding expert, he was really excited about the opportunity that I had, which was Dennis, and able to obviously bring that to the blockchain of BSE. So obviously we had a fantastic private sale, then a pre-sale that was run by ourselves, and now we can now successfully call ourselves the first real world tokenized hedge fund that's trading off chain, and obviously is not affected in any way, shape or form by anything that goes on in the crypto world, which in the early days when I said that, people might have been a bit skeptical, but obviously now people understand that it is actually a good thing, and we're on to good and better things coming.
No, I mean, I couldn't agree more, man. Actually, that's awesome the way that you met Karth. I didn't know it was more, there are good people in this space, man, but it's very rare that you find a team like you guys that are going to do the right things for the right reasons. So that's what, right off the bat, whenever I spoke with you guys, it was amazing. You could just feel that y'all clicked and that y'all had a great team.
Just to touch on that, I mean, obviously, again, I was, like you say, you don't know anyone, they're on the other side of the world, and devs on a daily basis were rugging me left, right, and centre. But to be honest, when I started talking to Calf about this, I'd actually realised that I had spoken to him in the past in a couple of his other smaller reward projects that he was doing. So they were like, Calf isn't here, but like baby Dogecoin and stuff like that. Like that wasn't his, but those sort of reward tokens, and when I was talking to him, I actually looked back at some of the projects that I'd bought, made a bit of money on, and still had a small bag in. And for example, I can't remember which one it was, but there was one that hadn't had any activity for about 2.5 months, and I still had about $100 in there. And I tried to cash it out, and the fact that the project was stagnant, wasn't really being spoken about anymore, community wasn't vibrant, and I was able to cash that out, showed me that he was possibly pretty solid in terms of not there to make a quick buck and steal people's money.
Right.
So to be honest, yeah, that's. I mean, like I say, I was talking with Carth. He picked up on what I wanted to do immediately, and when I went back through my chats, I've realised, like I say, I'd actually spoken to him in the past about a couple of his other projects that I'd been involved in, which were the small handful that I didn't lose any money on. So yeah, it was
Yeah, he
fantastic.
actually
Really.
he in fact saved one of the projects that we that we helped not too long ago. He literally helped save that project by coming in and yeah, like literally jumped in and read the contract, read the code, and before anything launched, literally helped save one of the projects. So the guy's an absolute stellar stellar dev
Yeah,
to have
exactly.
behind the scenes.
Exactly that. He's brilliant, and like I say, I think the thing that's made us different, especially on this space, is that a lot of the projects that I was finding that were coming up, being spoken about, regardless of what they were doing or how good they were and how much they mooned, I found that the majority of it was like when people are coming on, oh, can I speak to the dev? Can I speak to the dev? Can I speak to the dev? Well, the dev's really just an IT guy. Like, and obviously from the experience that myself and Dennis have had, there's been real world professional corporate companies. And obviously when we started this, we knew that we were going to implement that way of running things on this. So I think that also gave us an edge when we got started. You know, we've got some real world corporate experience, and not as I
Absolutely.
said in the
And you
past.
don't correct. And you don't find that in the space. I would say 99% of projects that launch fail within the first hour. The other 1% might last a week. A project that has a team, like a community is everything in this space. I don't care if you're going to cure cancer with your coin, it's not going to go anywhere without a community. And then of course utility, and the fact that y'all have the years of experience in the legacy finance and literally able to call yourselves the world's first tokenized hedge fund, like that's a fucking accomplishment. And that y'all have done it, y'all have crossed the red tape, and y'all are still innovating and moving along, like tying legacy finance into the corporate business. I mean, that's the future, using the blockchain for an accountant for a Walmart. Like Walmart will probably have its own cryptocurrency one day, right? Like
Well,
it's the power of the blockchain and the opportunity that it provides us, that people just need to
exactly. I
wrap
mean,
their
I
heads around.
couldn't understand why people weren't using the decentralization, lack of regulation, and let's say how it is, anonymity. Um, it was I couldn't understand why people weren't using that as an advantage to actually make some money. And as I was explaining to people from the very early days, um, we make much more money doing this properly and actually making people money than we would do if we just decided to do what everybody else does and rip people off. So yeah, that was one thing that I couldn't get my head around. I couldn't understand why people weren't actually using the opportunity that was in front of them with, like I say,
Right.
the digitalization and lack of regulation to actually do things that you normally wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to do
I
that
think
give
I
people
think
access
people
to
are
something.
Yeah, people are caught up on the fact of their net worth and not their network. A lot of what we're doing is networking, and sometimes you just stumble upon the right network at the right time, and then everyone's net worth goes up. So it's like utilizing our own little bank within GTR, right? We're all hubbing and putting our funds into this pool, correct? So can you kind of explain how that works? Like, so if someone goes and buys $100 worth of GTR today. Now I know there is going to be an implementation of y'all buying back, but we'll go into that a little bit further. But just right now, just like the basic tokenomics and how that fills the actual trading pool.
Yeah, okay. Mark's probably the best one to
Well,
go
there you
through
go.
that. To be honest, I'll be very long winded. Mark's
That's
probably got it
fine.
down
Yeah,
into a paragraph.
yeah. I
Cool.
mean,
Just
I guess the main part of the tokenomics is the fact that we're now a deflationary token, and we've already locked up 12 million tokens of the of the 100 million supply of the total supply of 100 million tokens, and all of the buy and sell taxes are the tokens that are being locked up. So every time there's buy and sell, those tokens go into a wallet, and then every month when that wallet fills up with 2 million tokens, we then lock them away. And that is something that I've not seen in any projects that I've come across in the BSC space, where we're locking away. Normally the buys and sell taxes that you sort of see sells on the charts, whereas this is completely the opposite. We're locking those tokens away, which is fabulous.
Buy and
So I
burn.
think
Right.
yes, exactly. So that is obviously the biggest point about our tokenomics on the token
So now,
side.
yes, right. And as we're eating away supply, the point would be to eat supply to zero, till they're all locked up. The rest of the tokens are locked up, or you said there was a certain point that the community's aiming towards.
Yeah, I mean, there will become a time where we'll need to look at the GTR will need to look at what's left and decide how to what the next stages are, whether that be that the company buying back or not. That's something that will happen in several probably a couple of years, or at the end of the
Right.
or at the
Absolutely.
end of the 48 months.
Right. Okay. So right now, if someone holds, if they're buying GTR tokens, they're getting paid out in BUSD. But there is also NFT. Is there any any NFTs left for sale, or is there another round of NFTs coming for sale, or how does that break down?
So the NFTs, obviously, we started with the NFTs back in January. Those were the first Genesis NFTs that were mintable. Because we've changed the whole tokenomics and the structure of all the NFTs, and now the NFTs themselves even have their own balancers. It's meant that it only makes sense to really hold one NFT. So what that meant is that anybody that purchased, say, 2 NFTs or more, they've been able to sell their additional NFTs through the community, through the Telegram. I mean, we are in the process of building a marketplace where people will be able to do that. They'll be able to list their NFTs for sale. But because I guess a lot of the people that bought multiple NFTs understand the project and know that it's important to get new people into the project. We've been selling lots of NFTs through myself as escrow, which in turn has brought probably over 50 new people or more into the project in the last few weeks.
Yeah, there's definitely some unique ways for I know Seifu and a couple other projects. They'll airdrop people tokens, but like the fact that y'all have like you were saying that it's like these NFTs actually have dollar value. I mean that these are liquidity backed NFTs, meaning the term NFT is thrown out the window, right? Because I
Yeah.
mean it literally is something fungible, right? So it's amazing that it's NFTs I think are undervalued. The actual utility of NFTs and being able to have them backed by value and liquidity, I think, is the future of a non-fungible token, and being able to utilize that within a marketplace, which I believe that's why y'all are buying up the supply to make these NFTs more valuable, and then they can be divided, and then depending on that's pretty much I think that's where the ecosystem is kind of leaning towards, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we look to move towards a more of an NFT project rather than a token, and the way that the tokenomics has been designed is that the supply will get less, with the aim that the company will buy back the tokens. So obviously, when that happens and there's no more tokens, we'll be a fully fledged NFT project. We plan to sell
Love it.
1,750 NFTs.
Wow, 1,750 NFTs, and at what, 1350 USD a
One
piece?
three 1359. Yeah, I mean
Oh, 1359. Wow.
we've already sold about 250 Genesis NFTs, and we've obviously for the early contributors, they were airdropped their own NFT as well. So we're already probably 600 NFTs in.
And these NFTs, guys, like I am a contributor to this project very early on, are absolutely stellar looking. I do have a Genesis one myself, but yeah, I mean these guys are top notch. They did the pre-sale through their own website. Everything was done, off. No pink sale was involved. Pink sale takes too much of the supply. They have the benevolent whales that you're looking for within an ecosystem. They have the chart's been steady. Yeah, I think all-time high was around 6 mil. I think we're at 1.5 even through these bloody markets that we're in. It's pretty still very healthy and good time to start snagging some of these tokens or like we were touching on one of these NFTs. I don't know what's the payout on the NFTs, or is that variable? Clearly, it would be based upon how Dennis does that month, or is that quarterly,
Yeah,
monthly?
it's monthly. I mean, obviously this year's been. I mean, I'm probably speaking on behalf of Dennis here, but it's been a challenging year in the economies, in the world economies, and the things that have been going on with Russia and Ukraine, and the sanctions. It's really a different environment, probably, so to speak. What Dennis is seen in previous years. But that said, I mean, I think to date we're probably around, or since the beginning of the year, we're up over and above 35% on profits. So I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's great. That's just being able being able to tie legacy finance to crypto, and and whatever he might do, being able to expand on that, maybe trading, having other, as this grows, hiring other people to do what he does and take it to the legacy side, maybe start dabbling in the crypto. Like the sky's the limit for what these guys are going to do and how they're going to do it, because they hold themselves in such in this the professional manner which that they speak with themselves. But I'm gonna let them do a little bit more talking and touch on. Was it Don? Go ahead and kind of speak about how you got into. Was it you that was talking earlier? Was that Dennis that was speaking about kind of everything that he touched on about how it all kind of came together?
Yeah, go on. I'll let Dennis take over for that. Dennis, do you want to just give
Yeah, hello guys. Thanks for inviting us. I was listening to the guys, and you've pretty much covered the tokenomics, the stuff behind the scenes, because obviously my background is in, as you said, in the regular world ordinarily, although I've obviously paid an interest in the crypto side of stuff, and I've been trading FX ostensibly for 35 years alongside with some commodity stuff. And yeah, John and I have spoken about doing something together for probably since about 2018. And obviously during the pandemic, the markets were crazy and kind of one way, but and it was very easy. And I don't say that in a nonchalant way, but it was pretty easy to make money during that time when markets were falling as they were without really any bounce. There was opportunities, and I was trading for a particular hedge fund then, and we made a lot of money. We made profits that you probably see once in a lifetime, 2 years in a row. Obviously markets have changed now, but I'm still enjoying the challenge of bringing to this space kind of we're giving everyone a hedge fund experience on however much money you've got to bring to the table. So I've been enjoying that. The markets are different, as Mark touched upon earlier. We couldn't have picked a better year in terms of how difficult the markets are, and obviously there's a lot of movement down in various markets, and cryptos itself is obviously having a transitional to changing kind of times, and it's been good for us, to be honest. As you touched on yourself, we've been pretty steady token wise price when other markets have been bleeding a lot. So as Mark touched on, we were 35% odd up. Currently this month we're 4.6% up, and really I made that money in the first week. The last kind of 10 days has been more difficult with nothing really much to jump on, but I'm hoping that there's going to be some stuff happens in the next couple of days, because our end of Go ahead.
When you are trading, what are you usually trading? Is that like commodity, gold, silver, oil?
So this month, for example, I've traded quite a bit of FX this month, because the FX markets, what with interest rates being hiked everywhere, have been moving in a more orderly manner. But I like to trade US crude. I like to trade the Dow and the dollar index. And gold. Gold has been a bit more complicated this month. It's just made some moves that I wasn't expecting. So we've had some nice positions, but have been cut out flat on them. But we're 4.6% up. Yeah.
Right. You would think right now people would be flooding into safe havens, but it seems like the dollar has actually performed slightly well. I think at the beginning of the month. I don't know how it looks right now, honestly.
It's a little softer. Yes, the dollar's a little softer now. You're right. Yeah.
And I really think that's crypto starting to make a change too. I think we might see. And I think, were you touching on you actually made more money when the markets were going down?
Yes, absolutely. When markets are
just
going
wait
down,
till this stuff and like these. Oh my god.
Yes.
Because in my eyes, I think we're on a massive legacy bubble. And I think when that happens, it's going to tumble out of control. You can only keep stuff going up and to the right and printing imaginary money for so long. I mean, the housing, I guess they can continue to do it, but I mean, you are starting to see people put their money in other assets that are scarce resources, whether that aren't the stock market, which is now becoming cryptocurrency, right? The stock market was created and generated for the rich to put money into something that is a scarce asset, right? So that, they were able to take that dollar and inflate, so now you have cryptocurrency that has actually tokenizations that y'all are utilizing to decrease the supply of something, buy it back, and then turning it into liquidity-backed NFTs, which are even more scarce of an asset that is still backed by value. People have to see the value in that. Like that's like the quick rundown of kind of like the evolution of mindset of money, right? Like
absolutely. And in reality, we're right at the very beginning of the whole crypto experience. I know it's been going for 10 years plus, but it's been a big steep learning curve, and it's only in the last year, I would say, that there's actually some kind of sense in what's going on. And I've been reiterating all this year that Bitcoin itself is a risk asset class now. It is a risk asset class. And it's moving along that basis, but it needed to get to that point where people actually look at it as an asset class. So yeah, certainly some interesting times. We've got involved at the right time, and I'm enjoying the experience. And long may it continue.
It's like you're learning every day, right? It's crazy in this space. It's super.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning, but I'm also looking. Yeah. I'm also analyzing Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, and I've made some. I'd say pretty shrewd calls for our group, people in there, and kind of told them where I think things are going to go and happen. When we were back around 45,000 in the Bitcoin a month or so ago, I've been looking for the move down, and at the moment I'm looking for a little move back up to sort of 34,000. But then I think we're going to get the final push down in all the cryptos before we start the march back up again. So, it's been an interesting time. It's been an interesting time.
Crazy market, and y'all are holding up well. You also have to remember that whenever you're paired against an asset, so if BNB goes from 600 to 200, your market cap gets cut into a third because you're paired to that asset. So y'all are performing well, even though you're paired to an asset that's actually dropped less in value than maybe than what we expected. It's been volatile.
Exactly. No, exactly.
So, but being able to get away from that completely, and your liquidity backed NFTs, and being, I mean, the movement that you can do there with NFTs, whether it's interoperability to other chains, and I just the scalability that you can do with NFTs themselves, I think it's the future, and y'all are headed in the right direction, and the fact that y'all recognize that, and use the tokenization to bring people in, to spread the awareness, to build the community, and now to literally just blow people out of the water with your tie to legacy finance with NFTs. It's unheard of, man. And I'm super happy. I'm super excited about this, what y'all are doing and the direction y'all are going.
It's worth
We
it's
are.
worth
Yeah, we are too. We are too.
I was going to say it's worth mentioning as well that you know if you look at our liquidity, it's not actually that isn't what's paying out the rewards. It's what's in the trading pool in fiat. So it's I mean we're the trading pool total pot is well over $1.1 million now, and it's forever growing. We've got the NFT side of it, where people can actually top up their NFTs. We've got the taxes from the NFTs, which is feeding the GTR token trading pool. There's so much within this ecosystem that's going on, that's feeding each other. It really is something unique and special.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact you can log on to the website yourself and top up your NFT. I mean, this is stuff that's it's not your average team, right? Like these guys have, yes, they're learning, yes, but the fact is, dude, like, like I said, that even from the pre-sale, I mean, there's been no FUD. The community's amazing. This is a great place it's a great place to store value, especially I think during these, I mean, you always talk about diversifying your portfolio, and like me myself, I don't really touch legacy finance, but with this asset, I'm able to expose myself to those legacy finances through a trader that has experience out the wazoo, right? It just right there for me is it's a nut shut, seal the deal, and see where they head with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that these NFTs provide a compounding measure. No, it's not just a pretty JPEG that you pay, $1,000, like over $1,000 for. It's access to this hedge fund, and it's the ability to compound your interest on your rewards, right? So, can you go into a little bit about how compounding works and why is it beneficial for people to actually purchase an NFT and put their rewards into it?
I think one good point to make about the NFTs is the fact that it's all the money that you're putting into your NFT is all in BUSD, so you haven't got the fluctuality of the fluctuating price of BNB, which as you know, it's although well, the whole market's down at the moment. We're actually doing pretty well in the grand scheme of things. With the NFT side of it, your money is essentially in stable, stable coins. So, you're not losing value on your NFT or on your funds actually in the trading pot. I think that's probably a good sticking point on the NFT side, and then obviously the actual compounding element to it as well. You can switch on your compounding and not actually have to worry about you can just let your rewards that are paid to you each month just go straight back into the pot. So you don't even have to worry about anything. You can just leave it for as long as you need to, and until you're ready to take out your rewards.
Do y'all have the websites posted, guys, so people can click right there on the websites and kind of navigate it? Because I know y'all have a lot of stuff, even how to buy, all those infographics. Y'all feel
Yeah.
free to drop all this when y'all have time. Feel free to drop all that info into our chat, and we'll pin it, and just so everyone can see. I mean, like it's a super clean website, super clean. Like it's very easy to navigate to top up your rewards or buy the NFT, and Have y'all guys thought about like, so like if I wanted to take some of my tokens right now and convert it into an NFT, do I have the possibility to say just like send those tokens to a burn wallet or burn those tokens and turn them into an NFT? Or do I have to sell them and then buy the NFT with BUSD?
At the moment, you would need to sell those tokens, but it's something that has been discussed before, where we were looking at ways to move people's GTR tokens directly into their NFT, whether that be like you say, sending them to a burn wallet. We are looking at different ways to do that, but obviously because we're so early on, we're just not quite
Oh,
there yet.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
we're
the I
what
think the other day they had a you had a 0% buy tax. We sent money straight to the like these guys have, you just got to be paying attention. These guys had a deal to where it was a 0% buy tax. You sent money straight into the pool, and you got tokens for the value. So I mean, it's
yeah.
they know what they're doing. It's the opportunities there. It's all about, at the moment, it's all about us and getting that pool filled, right? And so like whenever you go to top up your NFT, are we filling up the pool directly? Like if I'm going to top up my Genesis NFT, is that money going directly into that trading pot?
Yeah, so essentially, the way it works is that every week we receive top ups, and at the end of the week we then at sort of Friday 8 p.m. BST or there nearabouts, we send those funds to fiat and then by Monday those funds should then be ready to trade, and that's essentially how that works.
100%. I got you. Is there a big, I don't really trade much. Is there a big fee going in and out of crypto back to fiat?
I mean, it varies, but yeah, I mean there are fees associated to that. Obviously,
I'm sure
fiat
there are, of course. Yeah. I
crypto.
just that
Yeah, there's obviously small fees that come out of that for sure, and obviously when it's coming back in, but it does vary, but it's small in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, it's there is fees associated to that, and
absolutely,
obviously
yeah.
the taxes for topping up as well. There's a 5% tax to topping up, but that is actually going into the GTR trading pool,
See,
which
yeah,
in
and
turn is.
see
And we're also
that's
working on speaking to a few people that may help reduce those fees as well. So people that understand obviously exactly what we're trying to do. So we're looking
yes.
at we're effective. We are a real world company as well. So we're looking at setting up corporate accounts with various people where, because of the amount of volume that we're doing, which isn't huge in the grand scheme of things, but it's big. It's bigger than the average Joe. It is a corporate volumes level of volume. So we are talking to a few people that could probably help
Yeah.
reduce those fees as well, which will obviously make the difference. It's probably
And
worth pointing out as well about the referral scheme that we've got coming up for the new NFTs as well, Mark.
yeah, yeah, I can touch on that. I will just add as well, like that we're obviously looking at other ways of moving crypto out of fiat, but we're gonna actually make that hopefully fully automated as well, with the help of Magnus, our dev who's responsible for the DApp. He's also involved with various other bits and pieces with Calf. He's essentially building our DApp, and it's all, well, part of it is off chain, which is all the balances. So there's the off chain element and the on chain stuff as well. So, but yeah, going into the next line of NFTs that we're going to be releasing with the marketplace. So the silver NFTs will have a referral program built into them. So essentially, it will work like there'll be a sales contract, and then if people want to refer somebody to the project by buying an NFT, they can do so. But also, that will allow that referrer to receive a percentage of the company profit from that NFT. That's essentially how it's going to work.
Interesting. Yeah. So like the more people you refer, you actually gain more money off whatever that NFT that you sold referred
Yeah,
to compound a little bit more from. Yeah, yeah. So it gives you the
exactly.
incentive to go out and yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's the beauty of blockchain too, right? Is that everything can be kept right there on the chain. It's right there for, I mean, it's tracked and traded, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely. I mean,
What
I love the direction that it's absolutely headed.
one thing that we wanted to stay clear of is essentially, increasing taxes to cover, somebody referring somebody. So you tend to find in some projects that you pay a tax, but when you refer someone, those taxes go towards the referrer and the person getting into the project. But the way that we've done it is that the company are actually paying out profit from the GTR profit of that NFT directly to the referrer. So it works really well. I like that.
It doesn't have that pyramid scheme type feel to it.
Yes.
It's still based on the underlying fact of how much return the company receives from their trading pool, which is brilliant, and that's great. I mean, just I'm super eager to see where this goes. I know things take time. I think a lot of people come into crypto and that, some of them do make a lot of money really quickly and a lot of people lose a lot of money really quickly. I think this is one of those projects that it not only exposes your crypto to the legacy world and a trusted team, but it also provides that opportunity of something very unique within an NFT marketplace. And I mean, you can tell by the chart itself that it's a safe place to store, an investment.
Yep, certainly. I mean, we've. I will add that we've got an amazing community. We've got some fantastic people working on the project and in the community, and everybody's just, we're strong. We've got a bit of a following on Twitter. We're working really well there with the Ghost Raiders group and what Sir Nicholas is doing there. I mean, we really are starting to build the foundations of this amazing tokenized hedge fund. Um, one of the first of its kind to be trading in the more so traditional markets. So yeah, I mean it's early days, and we're going in the right direction.
And something that we did well as well was obviously when we started, I could have raised a hell of a lot of money in a private sale by taking on a few institutions and a few of the bigger boys that were around and that would have liked to have eaten up a big percentage of mine and Dennis's holdings. And obviously, we're now at a stage where as we're getting bigger and we're getting more contributors, and to be honest, obviously, all you need to do is look at the chart of the transactions, and you'll see that 99.9% of them are solid, understand the project, believe in the project, and even if somebody does a big sell of, say, $12,000 like this afternoon, it doesn't create panic. There isn't people coming on and fudding and wondering why it is or how it is, and the conversation that I had with Dennis this afternoon is key. Obviously, like you said, there's these people are trading in the crypto space on a daily basis, and with things like, I mean, a friend of mine, for example, unfortunately for him, bought Luna $10 too early, and obviously lost a lot.
Oh, geez.
No. Oh my God.
That's another story.
Wow.
A lot of people in the last couple of weeks, especially when they're relying and obviously um, are used to being able to take advantage of various situations, etc. Obviously, with a project like Luna, probably expected it to be something along the lines of Bitcoin. It drops 20%, it's going to go up another 15%. But obviously, it fell on its arse, and a lot of people lost a lot of money in many projects. And yeah, obviously, we seem to be a nice little vault safe for people to understand the project and what we're trying to do. And obviously,
100%. And yeah, and then it being backed by NFTs and its own liquidity, and I mean everything it can be on chain, but also the money like y'all are divesting and can also be held off chain, right? And protected and secured, and the
and
partnerships and the networks y'all have in place already. I already know that y'all have way future plans with
exactly,
with
and
where
it's
this
the
is actually
future
going to
plan.
go.
that are key. I mean, I said to people when we started this that obviously it's. I mean, we've basically got 1,200 people that understand what we're doing, that have put money into this project and made money. So effectively, Dennis and I have now got a client list of 1,200 extra solid people that the next opportunity that comes up when people have got some serious money around, once we get another 6, 12, 18 months into the project, who knows what we'll be able to do. I mean, Dennis and I have been exploring all sorts of various options, whether it's getting a involvement in a private bank or our own exchange. Like there's a whole world of things. Let alone
Yeah, I was gonna
other
touch on that. Yeah, I was gonna be like, well, y'all could, we were talking about the fees. I was like, well, sky's the limit. They could literally have their own on and fiat on and off ramp. Since y'all are dealing with so much of it, y'all could provide the liquidity for it. People can,
exactly.
like, making. I mean, just cutting out the middleman, but still providing to your community. I mean, who knows? I mean, the sky's the
Exactly,
limit.
and everybody in the community will pay no fees ever again. Just everybody else that comes along. Because
It's
you
insane.
know yourself, these exchanges they make absolute fortunes for doing nothing.
Yes,
Do you know
sir.
what I mean? It's crazy.
Oh,
I'm told.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, and I think that
Wow.
Ghost Trader is a great option for this upcoming bear market. You can put your funds into your NFT. You don't have to worry about the volatility of the market, and you can get your estimated for at least 4% returns that Dennis has been providing to the community so far. And I know a lot of professional traders that are just out of the game, and it's awesome with Dennis to be providing returns month after month over month, even though other hedge funds are not doing as well. A lot of hedge funds are in the red, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dennis is probably better to explain this, but I mean, something that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago in our community is I think the top. I can't remember which one it was that was top for the first quarter of this year, but that they showed returns of 9%. Our holders, even with the charges and the fees and the percentage that they get, they've earned double that. So it's I mean, it's great. I mean, to be honest, the fund, the top hedge fund of the world at the moment, two of their traders are actually contributors in our project. And obviously, again, when they were coming over and finding out about us and what we were doing, one of the questions
Wow.
was, like, because when you're working in a regulated market, and like, let's say you work behind a desk in a bank, you're not allowed to buy another financial product anywhere else. So with people like traders and other high flyers that are in the regulated real world, they wouldn't normally be able to buy into a hedge fund or any financial products. And obviously, the fact that what we've got here is what it is. There's a lot of people that are taking interest, and something that's again worth mentioning is obviously Mark, the Crypto Hats, got involved in this project probably about 4 or 5 months ago. So we were well on our way. Maybe not even that. Maybe about 3 months. And obviously he went to represent GTR at the Alternative Investment Summit in London, in Canary Wharf, which had people from Binance, from Tron, some proper influential people, and the uptake and the interest in what we were doing, how we were doing it, and how unique this was unbelievable. I mean, we've got some serious conversations happening with some
Amazing.
real financial, crypto and real world financial companies that are thinking, you know what, this could actually be something that we need access to.
Yeah, full disclosure,
Yeah.
I invited Crypto Hats to GTR. Full
Oh,
disclosure.
did you? Thanks for that.
He's a top
Yep.
lad. He's a top
Thanks,
lad.
guys. Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed being a part of Ghost Trader. It's been a great opportunity for me, and I've in the process I've learned so much, and it's been great and made lots of new friends. And yeah, I appreciate you reaching out to me back in I think it was just end of November or early December. Rick, you told me about this project, and yeah, got involved sort of back then. So yeah, it's I believe in this project. I think it has massive potential, and like Don said, when I went to the AIM summit, there was some very influential people there, some big speakers, you know, and anybody that I spoke to about this project, they were very interested by what we've got, in the sense that it is unique. It's not been done before, and yeah, we've got something special here. So yeah, I'm, you know, really pleased to be a part of it, and I think everybody else is.
Guys. I'm super excited for you guys. I know it's almost been an hour. Monkey Boy, Eddie, do y'all guys have anything to touch on about y'all's thoughts and y'all's adventure, or Fuji? Y'all guys want to chime in maybe a couple minutes and talk about y'all's experience with GTR? Some of the OGs.
Could I just add?
Go on.
Could I just add something
Guardian.
before they go in?
There's Guardian. Same thing. Go ahead, Guardian.
Because of the deflation of Luna, I've had questions asked. Is it possible that our money can go all the way to zero? So could you touch on why that won't happen, just for people to feel a little safer about contributing into our project?
Who's that directed at, Guardian?
Mark, anybody who can answer?
Sorry, Guardian, what was the question, mate? Sorry, I got distracted. What were you asking?
Because of the deflation of Luna, people have been coming into our chat and asking, well, can our pool go to zero and wreck like Luna did? So I said, no. And can you tell people why that?
I think the sort of the question is around like the risk management with the trading pools. I think that's something that Dennis.
Yeah, I'll answer that, Mark. Okay,
Yep.
Guardian. It's quite simply, yeah, we're prepared to risk 1% of the pool to make 2% profit. Okay, so that along them basis, unless the dollar's value goes to zero, it's like people say to me in FX. You know, if I buy £100 worth of dollars, will that ever be worth nothing? Well, only if the dollar is worth nothing, because we're trading outside of the crypto space, and we do it in a certain way. Yes, we're risking some of the pot, but as you've seen over the last 5 months, we're only prepared to risk a small amount to make profit. So unless the answer to that
y'all's
is
liquidity,
yeah,
the liquidity's held in BNB too. I got cut off.
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah, there's obviously, I can't answer that question in terms of BNB, and obviously it was mentioned earlier when we started the private sale. I think BNB was $600. Obviously, now the price is what it is. So, you know, is BNB going to go to zero? You know, I would very much doubt it. And like we said, all of our rewards are paid in BUSD, and whatever's happened to UST, I think it's a bit of a unique situation in terms of what's happened in that. And there was a lot of.
I can touch on that.
Yeah.
Basically, what happens with UST is it's bought. So basically, you buy it UST, you burn Luna. You buy Luna, you burn UST, and then that way it's algorithmic. Ghost Trader is not algorithmic at all. The owners are simply buying back a percentage of the total supply and locking it in a wallet, and it's that simple. It's not algorithmic at all, and it can't go to zero unless BNB goes to zero or fiat goes to zero. And I think if fiat goes to zero, we have bigger problems.
We're all swimming. Yeah, we're all swimming then, exactly.
Yeah, but there's one more thing I wanted to ask you guys, and I think for our listeners who really want to get in, go ahead.
Just to touch on that, even if BNB did go to zero, we'd still be producing rewards for the existing holders.
Oh, exactly right, because BUSD still holds its value in your vaults, assuming it doesn't lose its peg.
And let's say BUSD tanked out as well. Obviously, we would just change how we would pay out the rewards. So the real money of GTR is off chain, so it's not going to get affected by crypto at all.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to worry about placing your money in GTR. It's not going to go to zero. They have backup plans. Don't even worry. Luna is a very specific situation. So for the people who want to get involved in NFTs who are listening today, and they really itching to buy Ghost Trader and compound the rewards, how can they get involved with, like, when does the NFT marketplace expected to launch so these guys can get involved and start buying up some NFTs?
Mark, you've probably got the best estimation of that rather than me putting my foot in my mouth.
Sorry, can you? I couldn't hear what was asked. The question. What was it?
Oh, sure. I don't mind repeating it. So,
Thank
for
you.
everybody listening who wants to get involved right away, they want to compound their rewards, they want to buy tokens, right? How do they get involved? Like, when does the NFT marketplace expect it to launch so
We've
that they can start compounding?
Well, the actual you can actually compound your NFT now. You can connect to our DApp at app.gtr.uk. You can connect to the DApp via a Trust Wallet or MetaMask. You simply click on your NFT, and then you go in there, and you can. There's two options. You can top up, or you can enable compounding. You can enable it 25, 50, 75 or 100%, or you can switch it off completely. So it's already that element of it already exists.
Well, like, for example, if a new buyer wanted to buy an NFT, like, when can they expect your marketplace to come out, if you have any estimates at all?
The marketplace we're testing this weekend. We've just had the marketplace contract back from our dev. We've was essentially an external dev that we're working with on the marketplace. He's just sent back the code or the contract, should I say, and then we're testing it actually this weekend. So once we've tested it, we're then once we know that the marketplace is all ready and we're happy with it, we're going to then work on the referral program or the sales contract. So essentially we will release the marketplace with the silver NFTs and the referral program all in one, which will be around, or we're aiming for the weekend of the 11th or 12th of June, but that's no guarantee. That's just kind of a estimated ETA. But it will be, I would say for definite, it will be in June. But like I say, the 11th and the 12th is what we're aiming for.
Excellent. So, guys, if you're listening right now and you want to buy an NFT, I would just go ahead, look at the links in the description below, and join their Telegram or Twitter or Instagram and look for updates for the NFT marketplace. And I'm sure, you know, lots of other projects have estimates and they're not like 100% sure when they're gonna be able to get it out. And so don't get your heart set on the mid-June. Just they think June, but it might be pushed back. Projects in crypto, they push back stuff all the time. So just keep your eye on the pin messages.
And just for some information as well, as soon as Calf is around, or probably, I don't know if you can do it, Mark, but what we're going to do in the next couple of hours is we're going to turn off the buy taxes for 24 hours as well. So
yes,
anybody that does want to get in and obviously dip their toe in the water to find out what we're about and how things work, we'll be turning off the buy taxes, mainly for you guys, but obviously everyone else is going to benefit from it as well.
Right. So the time now is currently 6 p.m. UTC, 6:03. So 24 hours from now, zero buy taxes. It's the best time to buy. So I'm gonna get this YouTube up right away, right after we're done with investor
When do you think
questions
we
and
can turn
wrapping up here.
taxes off, Mark?
I'll say let's give ourselves about an hour, I think. So yeah, just we'll announce it in the. I guess just join check in our Telegram group and we'll announce it. We'll pin a message as soon as it's enabled. All right, and it will be 1%. The tax will be reduced down to 1%.
Yeah, because it can't be zero. Yeah. Cool.
All right, excellent. Did you guys have anything to add before we started taking community questions?
No, I think we're good. I think we've done a very thorough explanation of what we're doing, where we're going, and what we're trying to do. So yeah, happy to take some questions.
Excellent. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or type in the chat below. It looks like we have a question from Dan. You're unmuted now. Feel free to ask away.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Yourself?
Good, mighty. Monday work is over, so we're on the upward. Just want to ask very quickly, Dennis, the Ghost Trader. I just took a look through the white paper today, and it seems like there's a lot of good reports of the profits that you've earned over this last number of years, and especially since 2021. But the one thing I wanted to ask, just on a more serious note, I have quite a bit of faith there that I've considered putting in, but to put my own mind at ease, we looked at there was a bit of text in there said that you had profits or good profits up until 2008. And I don't need to know the details of what happened in 2008, but obviously we know that there was a financial crash, and things took a bit of a turn to the worse for a couple of years. But the question I have right now is, do we have some sort of risk management in place, that if there was, say, a bit of a recession over the coming months or even the next year or two, that would cause us to have a bit of a stress test on the likes of the GTR token and the likes of your trading that you use, if you don't mind me asking.
No problem. Just to fill in the gaps, I actually took some time out from trading between 2000. I actually missed the financial crisis in 2008, 2009 from actually a trading perspective. I was actually doing some building projects at the time. So I actually missed that one. But in terms of us, our risk management is very good. I've been trading for 30 odd years, as I said. So, we adhere to some strict trading principles, and it works very well. In terms of GTR, etc., from a tokenomics point of view, we touched on this earlier in respect of, yes, we understand the liquidities in BNB, etc. So, there's only so much we can do in that respect. But, as far as I'm concerned, the current kind of levels, we've probably got another 20% to move down in terms of Bitcoin and stuff. So perhaps there's a movement down in BNB and etc. But after that, I can see things moving steadily, but a bit more in a bit more orderly fashion upwards. So I'm hoping that we're not going to see the kind of rushing around that we've seen previously, and we actually see some sensible moves to the upside in crypto. But risk management is in place for the stuff outside of the in the outside space, and we'll continue doing that moving forward. And then obviously on an annual basis, we'll be producing some audited stuff in terms of the profits we've made.
It's also probably worth saying as well, Dan, just for some reason you just made me remember to mention that hasn't been mentioned, is that obviously when people are holding an NFT as well, 95% or 100% of their funds is going directly to the trading pot. So obviously money isn't being held in the chart and isn't on the risk side of buying the token. When people actually hold an NFT, all of that money is being traded, which again is the reason why these NFTs are being taken up the way that they're taken up, and we're really excited about the next bunch that we'll be releasing. Obviously, if there's any other questions that you've got for Dennis, or you want to speak to me and him directly, we're around and able to do that as well. But I hope that answered the question anyway.
Yes, lads, that's great. Appreciate the response. Thank you.
I'll just add as well, the buy tax has now been reduced to 1%.
Yeah, hey guys. I was in a work meeting, but I just swapped the buy tax to 1, so we're all good with that.
Good. So if anyone's got any really technical stuff or questions, Carth's around now, so we're not going to be afraid to answer them.
As always, I have a question. From a perspective of us being paired with BNB, we're subject to the volatility of the market. That's been demonstrated a number of times over the last 6 months. Is there any view or plan maybe to, if you pardon the pun, hedge our bets with regards to putting something as a pairing stable? So we're using BUSD as well as BNB. So we've got something that's stable, maybe half the funds or whatever, and the rest can be used speculatively along with the price movement of BNB.
To do that, we'd need a sizable amount to properly have a liquidity pool, because basically you're talking about taking a pair of BUSD to Ghost Trader at the same, roughly the same ratio as it is to BNB right now, dollar value wise, and making a pool of it. And to do that, we'd need enough for people to buy into that pool. The reason we didn't do BUSD at the start is because KuCoin's API messes with buying through BUSD trading pools directly if it's a tax token. If you notice, all the ones that are BUSD only pools are tokens that have zero tax, and that's because their API tries to call it's either swap tokens for other tokens, or swap exact tokens for tokens on transfer. It's a long word, like a long function name, and the idea is that it's calling the wrong pancake router function. And so I've tested it, and if you have a contract with just BUSD, even with taxes, you can buy it and sell it perfectly fine on PancakeSwap. But a lot of people use KuCoin, and we'd have a big red button on KuCoin, and I don't want that. So we didn't do BUSD at the start. And as far as splitting the pools now, we would need pretty sizable amount of capital to make that pool.
Okay, that's great. That clears it up in my head. Thank you very much.
Yep.
A great explanation from Karth as always. Does anybody else have any questions for us before we wrap up? Alrighty, guys. I think that's all the questions that we've had for today. I'd like to thank all of the Ghost Trader team for coming out and spending some time with us and our community and speaking to everybody. I know you've been busy working on getting your hedge fund all set in the NFT marketplace. So thanks again, guys. If you want to find out more about Ghost Trader, you can find all of their links down below in the description. Now is the best time to buy. They've lowered their taxes to 1%, and it's on a downtrend right now. So now is the perfect time to buy your tokens, and make sure to watch out for that NFT marketplace coming up. And as always, thanks for tuning in to Blockchain Trends, your source for everything blockchain and crypto. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Dragon.
guys. Speak to you later.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.